Well, good morning, everyone. It's Nicola Cairncross here today. I'm going to talk to you about how to create engaging content because it's very much on my mind because I'm gearing up for the New Year's launch of my Clicks and Leads Academy. So let's talk about one of the first things you need to create engaging content. One of the first things is you need to be authentic. You need to get over yourself. You need to not worry about what you look like on camera or not worry about what you look like in your pictures. So many people, specifically women as they're getting a bit older, start to worry about all those things. And what you've got to remember is that your potential future customer doesn't know what you look like on a good day. They only know what you look like today. And actually, if you've got the right kind of content and you're going to be able to help them solve their problem, they don't actually care about what you look like at all. The second thing is to be passionate about your topic. This comes across no matter what kind of content you're going to make. I would say always go for the most easy way of making content first, because that means you're going to actually do it. I get people in my Clicks and Leads Academy to decide whether they want to create visual content, auditory content, or kinesthetic content, then to decide whether, say, if it's visual content, if they're going to write it or they're going to speak to camera like I'm doing today. I find this the most authentic, natural way to make content. I used to write blog posts and I did enjoy that, but I now find I much more enjoy talking to camera because I can actually picture you behind the screen there. I can actually imagine that I'm talking to a real live person. So that really makes it much more easy for me to be passionate about my topic and to think about the kind of things you want to know. But if you really freeze up in front of a camera, then I would say consider audio, because lots of people are really good at talking into a microphone, but not necessarily talking into a camera. So it doesn't really matter, is the point I'm trying to make, what kind of content you start with, because whatever you create can be spun off into the other modalities. So, for example, when I worked with Neil Asher, he used to love writing a couple of blog posts a week, although he's absolutely brilliant on camera as well. But he found it fitted into his schedule better to write a couple of blog posts early in the morning every week. And then we would take that and turn them into PowerPoint presentations. And then we'd get someone to read out the blog post to make the audio, and then we'd put the PowerPoint with the audio to create the video. There's always a way to spin out your content. So just start is the thing. Just do it the most easy way for you and the most natural way possible, and then it can be taken from there. Number 3, know your ideal customer inside out. So, for example, I'm looking at this camera now and I can picture at least 1 or 2 of my ideal customers because I know them inside out and I've known them for a while now, and I know what their problems and their pains are. More specifically, I know what they say their problems and pains are, but what they really need. So it's not what you want, it's what you need. But you have to attract your ideal customer by giving them what they want. So, for example, what I know that what you need is to work with someone who will hold your hand step by step until you actually do this thing. But actually what you want at the moment is a video about creating engaging content. Number 4, stop for a second and think about your ideal potential future customer. And hopefully you've already had some of your ideal customers. If not, then sit down and write out a list of their qualities. What will make them your ideal customer in the future? And then think about what their challenges, problems are, pains are, and list those out. Aim for at least 12, because if you can create 12 problems, challenges, or pains, then that gives you 12 weeks content. If you like to batch create stuff, then you can actually get, say, a friend round to help you with the video recording, and you can record all 12 pieces of content for the next 3 months in one afternoon. You've got to trust the process. You've got to trust that by sharing your content authentically, regularly, and spinning it off into as many different formats and onto as many different platforms as possible, you will attract your ideal client. Every single member of Clicks and Leads Academy has always started out very trepidatious, even the real high flyers. People like Dodge Woodall, who said to me, "What will happen if I start a podcast, Nick?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, Dodge, but something will." And he went on to become a top 3 podcaster, co-host Harry Redknapp's show, and sell an awful lot of copies of his course, The Eventful Entrepreneur. But in the beginning, we didn't know what would happen. You have to take a leap of faith and trust the process. As soon as I started this YouTube channel up again, I started attracting clients. Not a lot of views, that's for sure, but it's enough clients and the views are growing, and that's the main thing. So you've got to trust the process. Try and tell stories. If you've done any creative writing, then you'll know about the hero's journey, and everybody loves the hero's journey. It's the most popular story format there is. And the hero's journey can either be done in a 3-act structure or a 5-act structure. I marginally prefer the 5-act structure. And if you think about it in terms of the Hobbit story, then it's really easy to remember. So you've got your ordinary world, which is where your potential future client is now. And then there's an inciting incident that makes your client wake up one morning and decide enough's enough, and they want to go looking for someone like you to help them. The next thing that happens is they get the call to adventure. And that's something happening that is going to encourage them to move from the ordinary world into the world of the hero. And often then it comes along the mentor who's going to guide them on the journey. Think Gandalf for the Hobbit. And then you go off and you collect a load of companions and people who are going to help you along the way. And you're seeking some sort of holy grail. They often go off on a quest to seek a holy grail kind of object, which is going to help them to achieve their goals. And then you get this rising action, and then it comes up to a climax. And the climax is called the dark moment in the cave, where they have to fight all the baddies or overcome the obstacles or slay the dragon. And then after that, they have to return to where they came. But they're changed. They're changed because they've got this talisman or this holy grail with them now. But more importantly, they've changed inside, and they know that they're different now, and they go back to where they were before. But they often want to move on after a while because, you know, they're not the same people they were. So if you can imagine and tell your story in the form of the hero's journey, I have to have a 5-act structure because I've had 2 big rises and 2 big falls. So a 5-act structure is slightly more drawn out, and you can fit a lot more into it. So do go and Google the 3-act structure and the 5-act structure, because I use it all the time when talking about my story, when talking about my clients' stories. And it's really great if you need to do speaking in public, for example. It'll help you write compelling emails as well. And then what I do is I divide all my email sequences out into 5 different emails, and I tell a hero's journey kind of story over those 5 emails. So the hero's journey 3-act structure or 5-act structure, take a look at that, and it will give you a really good idea about how to structure your stories. And finally, every single compelling piece of content should, of course, have a clear call to action. Don't leave people dangling. Let them know what they're supposed to do next. In my case, I'd advise you to come over to nicolacairncross.com and see what's over there for you. There'll be a couple of training courses. There's some of my books, and there's lots more free stuff in the form of the videos. So do come on over, have a look around, and if there's anything I can do to help you, don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope this has helped you create more compelling content, or even just to get started in the first place.